Hello everybody and welcome back to another one of those videos where I talk about updates on the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress coming from Toady1 and KitFox. We have a blog post from Tarn after a little bit of silence. There's going to be a lot of reading in this one, so strap in. If you want to skip the part where I read, click to here. You still with us? Let's dive in. Sorry for being silent for the last few weeks. I feel like I've entered the same frame of mind as I was in when I was finishing my thesis. There can be up days and down days, and some with a ton of progress and some with very little, tangible to show. But the mind has completely disappeared into the work. Yesterday went great. I reworked the object load system so that we can now alter text definitions all the way up to the end. It used to process them as they were loaded. The primary benefit of this change is allowing mods to snip out and replace individual entries without having to drop entire files, or to append a few lines to an existing entry, etc. I also fixed some layout issues with the building sheet, and got custom building nicknames working again, and fixed a sizing issue with sprites on sheets, and put in some missing graphics, and added a few new helpful messages, etc. Someday, not long before that, I got the keyboard up and running. The basic stuff we said we'd do in the future of the fortress, which is designations and building cursor, hotkeys for the main screen and designations in all buildings, and macros up again. And there's a lot more to do there, menu by menu, but this is a good start. I don't recall if we mentioned adding an option to use the closest material for buildings, rather than having to select it, and an option to continue building after placement. So, if you, say, have a nearby stock file filled with blocks, you can just splat down multiple constructions now, or anything else, like Ding. And constructions can be built vertically now, as long as one of the levels has access to the building materials. We haven't yet set up a system where you don't even need specific items available at all, and that'll be too risky to set up before the release. But building things generally is way easier now, and the initial selection menu is much nicer as well. That bit is huge. Finally, and this accounts for more than half of the time, lots of art has come in. We'll show some with the news post in a few days. We've been in autumn for a few days now, and everything is still going well. That's a lot of foreshadowing. And now that you can see me, the first thing I really want to touch on with this whole chunk of posts from Tarn is the keyboard stuff. So that's actually really nice to see that stuff's coming along. I know that was kind of an old school community push saying, hey, please, we want keyboard support. But for me personally, this makes me really happy to see this coming through. The next thing that he talks about here is he talks about adding an option to use the closest material. So for those of you who don't know, the way Dwarf Fortress building works is when you select, I want to build a wall, it gives you a list of every single material based on the distance to the material. So it'll be like, I don't know, diorite blocks, granite blocks, this type of boulder, this type of wood, etc. All kind of mixed together in one line in kind of like the distance from closest to furthest away from the thing that you're constructing, which is a fine system, but it does get kind of tedious when you have like 130 different types of items, just like in this huge, massive list with different amounts of stuff, and just being able to set it to either use a specific type of material or the nearest material is kind of a huge change. The other thing that he talks here is about building vertically, which is something that we've been asking for as long as I can remember, where as long as the base layer has like access to said material, you can just start constructing vertically, meaning you can queue up an entire building and it's ready to go. That's massive. That is one of the biggest changes, I think, out of this entire post. And finally, he does also hint that lots of art has come in. And so some of you, if you watched the last video that I uploaded with the ultra widescreen support, sorry for just calling it widescreen, but ultra widescreen support, there are some new shops in there, some new art pieces that haven't been shown, which I actually saw back at PAX, fun fact. Those images are apparently now in the game, as well as a bunch of other stuff, which you haven't seen yet. So keep an eye out for Wednesday when the news post comes out, because there's going to be some fun stuff over there. I'm currently really sunburnt, and this is a little bit off topic, but I'm very sunburnt because I walked up Golden Ears Mountain recently. If you want to see pictures of me at the top of a mountain, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/BLINDIRL. And of course, thank you very much to all my patrons for keeping these videos up and running. Shoutouts to you guys. Cheers. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching this video. God, what am I saying? And I'll see you in the next one.